Welcome to the Merrick Damon Show. Today is an amazing day because it's our first show and I have my favorite guest. I have my best friend, Carrie Fish, who's here with me today.
Good morning.
Just tell me and maybe our audience some of the things that you do on a daily in terms of working in the real estate business.
Well, I'm with Smart Title and Settlement Services. I'm the marketing director for Smart Title. I get to come out and meet cool people like you. And this is really the part of my job that I love because it doesn't feel like I go to work every day because I love what I do. So I am the one that you hand your contracts off to, and I make sure that they get closed. Once you have a fully executed contract for sale and purchase, you send that over to my office, and I'm going to do everything in my power to see to it that it gets closed. So my day is never the same.
Right. And well, I'm sure it's not. But, one of the things and the reason I think that our relationship is amazing is because, I trust you. I trust you in our relationship that when I hand the contract over to you, that I don't have to really worry about anything. You go from start to finish to make sure everything's done. Building a relationship with someone who you have developed trust with over the years that can take a contract and just take it to closing is probably the best thing that any person in the real estate business can ever ask. Can you tell me a little bit about how do you give people like me that assurance? What is it that you think that you do on a daily that makes people like me say, oh my God, I don't have to worry about anything. It's just gonna work. What do you do?
Well, first of all, I answer their questions. This is sometimes their biggest purchase that they're ever making in their lifetime, and sometimes people need their hand held. Sometimes they don't work in this business day to day like you and I do,
Sure.
And it's a huge purchase that they're making. So sometimes they have questions, things that they don't understand, and it's my job to educate them as the public. It's all of our jobs actually to educate the public so that they're doing the right things and they have the right people on their team and they're getting their questions answered that they don't necessarily understand. And people will forget what you said and people forget what you did, but they won't forget how you made them feel.
One of the things that we encounter both in terms of real estate and I guess even in life, Carrie, is that people come in and out of our lives. Not all relationships last. I think what you do that helps my clients and helps me is that you do really wonderful communications. You stay in touch, you email, you phone, you text, and more importantly, you make yourself available at all times. How did you develop that skill? Where did that come from? How did you become a person that felt that you needed to do something like that in order to create a successful business?
I would have to say, the way I was raised is that you do unto others as you wish them to do unto you. And if it was me and I was buying a huge piece of property, I would want my phone answered every single time I called. So that's why, my lines of communication are open. I answer text messages, I answer emails, I answer phone calls. I have the Mophie charger on my phone because I kill the battery constantly, but I'm always available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nights and holidays.
Yes, you are. Tell me, when you've made choices in your own life, because I want this show to be not just about business, but about personal, because you and I both see a lot of success. We see people that are successful, we see people not. In your own life, in your own experience, what are some of the traits that you see in the $1 million makers, the people that are out in our business just killing it? What are some of the things you say like, oh my God, I wish every agent had that same perspective? What would you say those things are?
I would say laser focused. They know what they want. They go after it. They don't take no for an answer. And that just keeps it going. But you have to be out there constantly working. And they say in the real estate business, you're only as good as your last deal. So you got to keep the train moving.
I wrote a book called the Keep It Moving series. And that book really was about telling people, no matter what happens to you in your life, no matter what hurdles, what trials that you go through, you have to stay focused.
Yep.
Most people in our business lose focus. If you're going to be $1 million player and $1 million homes, you can't let one discussion with someone take you off focus and off message. The smartest people in our business have been the people who have gone in and just continued to hammer at it and hammer at it and hammer at it and hammer at it. And we need more people like that in this business.
Absolutely.
We really do.
Absolutely.
You travel too. You have a very exciting life. You go to New York, you go to Ohio, you go to places. What does travel mean and do for you? What do you do when you travel?
Well, sometimes I'm going to, visit family and, get back to my core roots, because you got to, stay involved with your family. So I was just recently at my brother's wedding. He finally put a ring on it at 40 and he finally made the future Mrs. Fish, which was really fantastic. And I got to be part of that. My baby sister lives in New York City. She's wheeling and dealing real estate deals up there as well, which is really nice. But she's younger, smarter, faster, and stronger. Just a little plug for the baby sister. But it keeps me also on top of my game because I'm able to see different kinds of markets as well. There's very high-end real estate in New York City. And then you go to my hometown, it's very low-end real estate. But you know what? Every little piece of property is your own monopoly game. It gives you your piece of the pie. So keep buying, keep selling, keep doing what you're doing.
Right. So, when I landed in Florida, how can I say that? When I returned to Florida after being away for years, I lived in New York and I lived in Los Angeles, and I started this company in Atlanta. You were one of the first persons that I met when I got back. And, of course, I'd have to say our friendship has been amazing over the years, but the South Florida market was challenging. There were many things about it that were unique and different. We deal with sea level rise as one of our issues and how that affects insurance. We deal with an international marketplace and cash buyers. What would you say to someone who wants to make a purchase in South Florida, in the Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach market, is something that they should look for specifically in terms of a good investment?
I think good investments are really anywhere. As long as you're buying something that's current market value, you don't necessarily want to buy the biggest house on the block. You just want to have your little piece of the American pie. So whatever it is you can afford, why not go in and afford instead of paying your landlord's rent and stuff like that? Build equity in your own American dream and just do part of that. There are deals to be had everywhere in that Tri-County area, but make sure you have a strong team around you to support you so that you can get these deals successful.
Because essentially everything's about good teamwork. If you have a great team around you, you can overcome many challenges.
Absolutely.
Who do you consider to be in your team?
Well, I have you in my team.
Yes.
I'm also a part of BNI Diamond, which is a huge part of my networking. It's Business Networking International. I'm part of the BNI Diamond chapter, which also enables me I have a huge team there. I have probates, wills, and trusts. I have social media marketing. Everybody that I need, I have at my fingertips. And I don't have to worry about my calls getting returned because these are people that I see on a weekly basis. So I do see them on a weekly basis so that I have that no trust relationship with these people. And they know if Carrie's calling and Carrie needs something, I need to handle it right now.
No, you have to deal with all of it. And it's really amazing that you have so many, legs that you can compete in so many places and know so many people. Tell me something about what's been an embarrassing moment for you? What is something that maybe makes you afraid or something you're embarrassed of?
Oh, let's see. Missing something on a file would probably be embarrassing to me. Not being on top of my game would be embarrassing to me. Not doing something correctly, which I'm into details. Details will kill you in this business. You have to stay on top of your details. You have to stay in communication with people on your files. And that would be probably the biggest embarrassment. I can't pull one up in my brain at the moment, but I'm sure there are a few along the way.
One of the things that I can say about this business is I love doing this business. I never feel like I get up any day and go to work.
Right.
I actually get to live my life.
Yep.
Do you have that same feeling?
I do.
And when did that start for you think?
Well, I think a lot of people look for what their passion is in the world and in life. Sometimes it comes to us easily, and then others struggle to find that. And I know people that are struggling to find that right now. It found me. I've had my real estate license since 1999. My mother actually worked for the company that does the MLS system for the realtors back in the book days. Got matrix printers and Liberty Terminals. So when I was a little kid, I thought I was playing on the computer, and my mom had me at work at 10 years old, broker loading listings in the good old days. So even when I did try to leave the real estate business, it always draws me back because it's really my calling. And again, like I said before, it doesn't feel like I go to work every day because I get to come hang out and do things like this with cool people like you.
Let's talk more about your day. I know more people are interested in, what happens when you get up in the morning? Are you out spending your entire day meeting new people? Are you touching with old people? What is a typical day like for Carrie the marketer?
All right, well, my days vary every single day. My phone started going off at 6:30 this morning. I have somebody that I do business with that has an interview with a BNI chapter in Miami-Dade County. And she's like, I got 60 seconds to sell myself. So she wants to pick my brain on that. So actually, that was my first call this morning. Other calls are just following up on things that happened late Friday and over the weekend. I have new contracts to quote. I have other deals that might be dying. I have to handle release of and cancellations of contracts. So it's really, I spend most of my day on the phone or going back and forth from appointment to appointment, but it could be meeting new people. I could be doing a PowerPoint presentation on the fantastic next deal technology my office offers, because we want to give back to the people that give us business. I also have an app for everybody in the real estate business. It works on your smartphone, it works on your tablet, it works on your PC. It does everything. It even does seller net sheets for those of you realtors that are out on your listing presentation calls. You can do it right there on the listing call, drop it into your dot loop, and forward it in PDF copy to your sellers. So your sellers know what kind of money they're walking away with, so they know their funds they have to buy. So my day is never the same, and that's probably the best part about it.
Carrie, can you tell me a little bit about what has been your high point in our business? What has been the things that have made you the happiest?
I'd have to say closing more and more deals every year. When I started at Smart Title, I just turned 5 years. I really didn't know what I was doing, and I had to go build a business. So I had to be out networking. I had to, excuse my expression, be out there shaking my moneymaker. I had to throw a lot of stuff up against the wall to see what was going to stick, because you don't necessarily know when you start in the business where it's going to come from. But then you're going to learn certain things. You're going to learn my target market, the people that I want to meet, people who are buying, selling real estate in the great state of Florida. I want to meet realtors. I want to meet lenders. But it's part of that. You have to go through the process and in order, and almost in a sense, kind of pay your dues along the way. Because it's taken 5 years, but I'm closing a lot of deals. I'm pretty sure my boss is happy with me. Plug for Smart Title.
That's amazing. I'm so happy. Tell me, because I'm really interested in this part, what do I do to network the best? Do I create events? Do I go to events? What have you found success in terms of networking and finding new business and new people? What have you done?
Okay, well, ever since my first day of work at Smart Title, I've been in the BNI Diamond chapter. It's helped me tremendously in so many different aspects of my entire life. It helped me nail my elevator pitch. It helped me with my 10-minute presentation on any kind of a PowerPoint presentation. Helped me really with my group speaking and being able to, just talk to really anybody. But the most important thing is it really taught me how to look for my target market. You don't want to go out, you don't want to meet every single person in the business. You want to meet the right people in the business. So when you do go out to a networking event, you don't want everybody's card in there. You want to identify who are your target markets. For me, I know exactly who that is. It's realtors, lenders, and anybody buying and selling real estate in the great state of Florida. So these are the people that I look to go to. There are all different kinds of events that you can find, and you can even find them for free. But I suggest you go out, you meet people, even, check out your local board of realtors, because realtors have one, and they always have even meet and greets on certain times of the month, and it's just a great way to get yourself out there so that people can see you.
Right. I found that the relationship between title and real estate agent is crucial. It's so important. And if people don't have that correct relationship, they need to build it. You've taken on a large role with Merrick Damon. You've actually gone on and talked and mentored many of our agents. Do you think that's the formula for success with many brokerage companies?
You have to have a strong backbone in the real estate market for sure. You definitely have to have a team behind you that's going to support you and going to answer all of those questions, because there's really never ever a stupid question or a question that doesn't need to be answered in our business. If they're asking, it means that they need to know. So it's our job to at least answer those questions. And if I don't necessarily know the answer, I will go get that answer for them.
Yeah, I think that's what you leave a lasting impression with. If I don't know that answer, you've said that many times, if I don't know that answer, then I will go get it for you.
Yep.
I will find someone. And I think, you've been called the connector. A connector is an important person. Because what they do is they fill in the gaps when people don't have anyone to call. You've connected me, you've connected my agents, you've connected many people in our business. So thinking of that, what are some of the challenges do you think that we have today or in the very future in terms of how people close deals, how they get mortgages, all those things? What would you have to say to people where there's a disconnect? How do we help them in this market?
You really have to trust your team, your professionals that you have surrounding you. You're not going to go to, let's see, a baker if you need a root canal. You're going to go to a real estate agent if you're buying a house. It pays to consult a realtor. You're going to use a title company to close your transaction. Unless you have a lot of money, you're going to probably use financing. Money's very cheap right now, so it pays to do financing on a transaction and keep your money in the bank where it makes you money. But I want to tell you, I got a call from one of your agents last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and she got a call from a client that was, let's say, had filed bankruptcy. And she wanted to sell the house. And I says, well, does your client have a copy of any of the paperwork that she has? She says, no. And I says, well, that's very surprising to me if she just filed bankruptcy, because either she made the house part of the bankruptcy or she didn't, but she's going to have to go in front of the court to have permission to sell that house.
That is so important. And so many people have so many questions about that. A lot of people don't understand the closing process. They don't understand what happens when a title company gets the contract and what happens up until the day of closing. Can you talk a little bit, maybe briefly, about the steps to closing a real estate transaction, the things that happen along that way?
All right, well, I want to give props to my girls in the office, to my Rachel and my Sherry. They are two of the best in the business. My processors, they actually make me look good on every single file I go out and close. So I stay very busy. But first thing that happens is first we'll have an earnest money deposit come into our office, and then we get the fully executed contract. Once we have those two items, then we can start processing that file. So first we are ordering title. Title basically tells the history of the house from the time it's built to the time it no longer lives anymore. Title tells us everything. If you took title as a married person or an unmarried person, if someone passes away in title, these are all things that come up in title. So things that we need to, actually we call it to clear title things, requirements that come in on your title report. If there's an association involved, we have to do what's called an estoppel and send that out. But above and beyond that, before any of these other things take place, they have to be making their loan application. They have to be doing their inspection report. These are some things that might kill your deal along the way. If you don't have a good home inspector, and if you're buying the property as is, you want to make sure that you're spending that money to have the property inspected. It's really the best money that you can ever spend. And same with your appraisal. You want to make sure that that appraisal comes in on the money. Otherwise, you want to renegotiate that contract. Also, if your repairs aren't good. But once we get through a couple of those first three hurdles, then we're on to the next thing. Then if there is an association on the file, the buyer is making their application to the association, and then they have to do normally a face-to-face interview. A lot of the associations now are coming up and getting very savvy with our technology. They're doing Skype interviews, they're doing FaceTime interviews because people are busy.
Carrie, before I let you go, tell me, how do you see the future of real estate? What do you see as the future for our business and what people should expect when they're either buying a home or selling a home? How do you see our future? Because there are a lot of people that are panicked, especially realtors. There are a lot of realtors now who are like, oh my God, are they going to rip us out of the process? Are they going to tear us out? How do you see real estate, not only just here, but in South Florida, going for our business?
I don't think there's ever going to be a stop in our real estate business. Real estate's been around longer than most of us here have been on the planet. I don't ever see it, actually going away. I think it's going to get bigger. I think it's going to get stronger. I think it's going to get even faster. I'm excited about it. I'm definitely excited about it. I love what I do, and I can't wait to close my next deal.
Well, Carrie, I love you.
Thank you.
This has been a great show. I'm super excited. Can't wait to have you back again. Okay, guys, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful show. Check us out online. Come back to our next show. We'll be doing these weekly.